So what we would do here, we would add new folder called pages. I will explain this now, why we need pages, so why we need a different screen. So the first screen which we are going to see is the home page, which would be populated with all the list items. The second one which we need is add or edit the inventory item. So what we will do is we are going to implement a home page, then we will provide support for add or edit inventory. Then we will provide a statistics page where it will show how much inventory items are left already and how much money has been spent on the left inventory item. So you can provide any kind of implementation you want, but just want to make sure that the page shows some statistics. Home page, full widget, state, home page. Then here you need to provide the build function. We need to override the init state. When you initialize the home page state, that time you would go ahead and register for any notifications with the store. So for that we need store factory. So what we will do is we need a callback function, because that's where we are going to get all the notifications. This does not take anything, so we will just quickly go over and register for the store notification with the store. You had to get the store, get inventory model dot add listener. You will add it as on store changed. And one another thing which we have to do is when the store get disposed, we have to make sure that we remove this listener from this function. So on store change. So we just have to remove it from the store factory so that it works perfectly fine. So what we did is we created a stateful widget, return new home page state. We don't want to pass anything to that. In the in state part, we added a listener. In the dispose, we are removing it. Now what we will do is we are going to provide return new scaffold, and you have already seen the syntax. So it has the app bar, which takes an app bar. Then you have a body, which we will just for the time being we will just provide only sender and child text. Hola there. So we'll just give some values there on that. And you need action buttons, actions. Sorry, so that's actions goes to that one. So floating action button, it's again a floating action button. We'll provide implementation for that later. And we have a drawer. So drawer, which is nothing but a drawer, shows a child is like a list view which has a couple of other items. As you can see, when we load the store, it takes a while if the data is huge. So we'll have to display something when we are loading the store. That's what we are going to do next. Get body widget. I'll just provide the implementation real quick. So this is how it looks. So now we will have to start adding port inventory list. We have added there in that. And when the store notification we receives, what we had to do is we had to read all the records from the store. So that we'll do next. For that we need to save all this data. List of models we need, we will get from the store. So models, so, and it's pretty straightforward to get this one. We will just use this mechanism. Dot. So this is a future. What we can do, if you put async here, that would be like, you can do await this dot underscore models equal to await. Now you got that value. So this value, what we can do is we can set state. We can call, what we are going to do, we are going to provide this function there, and that get body widget. So I would explain the body widget in a while. Mark it as here we retrieve the store and calculate. We will check whether the store is loaded. If it is loading for the first time, then we will display a circular progress indicator there. Otherwise, we will just see whether the model count is 0. If it is 0, we will display some text message. Otherwise, we will go ahead and build the list for the home page. So this is a fairly straightforward implementation. And now we would go ahead and provide a support for the app bar and rest of the other components there on the screen. So here I just provided the support for the app bar. So it has a text. I have already explained all these functionalities earlier, so it's very straightforward. I added a bulk add functionality. This is for the bulk addition of few items. If you really want to test the performance, we will add the bulk add functionality later. And it has a pop-up menu button which does remove all, and what it does is it will remove all the store items, all the items from the store at once. So say for example, if you did a bulk addition of say 10,000 or 1 lakh entries, then you want to remove everything at once, then you can call this API so that it would be done automatically. So the sole purpose of this is to demonstrate how easy it if you are using this kind of frameworks. Now we have provided functionality for the app bar. Now what we would do is we would go ahead and provide functionalities for the floating action button. So this is what we have done so far with floating action button. What we have to do is once you hit on the plus icon there on the floating action button, then we should go to a new screen. So that's the purpose. So the screen is not yet created. So for the time being, we will not add the functionality for that. Now what we will do is we will just go ahead and implement a drawer. Implementing a drawer is very straightforward. So as you can see, I am using the Navigator here. I'm just using a Navigator and a push name. It's a pass to a destination called stats. We don't really need to like manage a stack and all the navigations all by ourselves. So that framework would take care of everything for us. So here if you see that it's just another list style which has some stats text, and on top it just navigates to a different screen. So that's it. So we are done with almost all the implementation there in that part. One thing which is missing is the on press button, on press event. So just go ahead and give something real quick. Yep. So now we have implemented almost everything. It is now time for us to connect this with the main UI. So I'm just going to remove everything here. We don't need all this information. Only thing is that now we have to give a default implementation for that. So we'll just add roots. So if you see root, so map of string and build context. So what I will do is, so its string is slash. So this is actually for their home page, and build context. To home. So here we will just go and import components slash, sorry, pages, home page. So this is the default route which we have given. We are not providing anything else. Now we will quickly run this and see how it works. I'll just open iOS simulator. It might display some error message, so let's see whether it works fine or not for the first time. There are a few things which we did not do. One is that initialization of the config, which we had to do that at the very early stage, otherwise it would throw some errors. That I would do right away. Import config. As you can see in that I did not initialize this config, so we started getting this null and everything there and that. So basically we will just do a reload. See now as it crashed already, we need to rerun this again. Okay, it worked, but it threw some kind of errors. Okay, so we will see what is that is pending. I think we found the root cause of this. The reason being, here initialize was called synchronously, but the get application documents directory, that was a async function. So basically we have to convert this one to future and return this. And then when we initialize it, we just have to wait dot then on value, some values there. So then call the run up there and that. And here we go. What we'll do is we'll just reload this. We'll just reload this quickly and see whether it works. Doesn't matter. Okay, yep. So it worked perfectly fine this time. So we got to see this error, the message your inventory is empty, please add some items to the inventory. So that as we have seen, it works perfectly fine. So let's see whether this stats works. No, because we don't have a stat page there. So we have only added a route slash and no other routes are added. Here remove all does absolutely nothing now because we have nothing there in that. If you click remove all, does not do anything. Add doesn't do anything. This one also, it creates something, but the builder just returned null. So now what we will do is we'll just go ahead and provide support for the add edit, because this error came because we don't have add edit created. So next thing which we are going to do is creating add edit screen.